It is Falcons hate week. Nothing more needs to be said. Thomas, hit that intro.
Welcome to Saints Happy Hour podcast. We never skip a drink day.
Budrich wants to know how the doctor's doing.
That ended.
Now grab a drink and enjoy the show.
All right, everybody, welcome to another edition of Saints Happy Hour podcast. We are presented by Hard Hide, Ponchatoula Strawberry Whiskey. I'm Ralph Marlborough. I'm joined by Dave and Andrew. Thomas running the show back in Poland. Hi to everybody in the chat on YouTube. I see Nick. I see your boy Alan. I saw Budrich in there. We'll get it cranked up in a little bit with the chat. On tonight's show, Saints defense does the worst Three Stooges imitation I've ever seen. What happens to the offense without Eric McCoy? And is it the end for Cam Jordan? As always, if we reach $100 in donations, I will drink something horrible the patrons have sent me. Patrick sent me a lovely note, handwritten, beautiful penmanship. He said he promised to send me stuff about 8 months ago. It finally arrived. Patrick, thank you very much. The drinks tonight, Andrew, I know you care about 100 proof, so we got watermelon, 99 proof, watermelon vodka, and we got watermelon jalapeno vodka.
Jalapeno. I love how you say jalapeno.
Jalapeno.
A lot of watermelon tonight.
A lot of watermelon. I thought it was interesting.
Watermelon.
If when we get to $100, they can pick. Do they want me to do the regular watermelon or the watermelon and jalapeno?
Yes.
All right, Dave. You said it last week. Being the turd in the punch bowl, you predicted one injury could tumble the whole house of cards. Our 2-0 dreams would be destroyed. Take your victory lap. Eric McCoy got hurt, and it all fell apart. Take your victory. Take your victory lap.
All right. Well, first of all, I'm not going to take a victory lap for the Saints losing. But yes, I did say that. And look, Andrew agreed with me. And I think deep down, Ralph, even though you might not have said it, I think deep down you're agreeing with us too. And I did. And it turns out, and I said, it could be that bottom right card that just makes everything come tumbling down. And it turns out Eric McCoy may or may not be that bottom right card. Who knew that he would be the one that could just bring it all down? But to be honest with you, I don't know. I don't know if it was necessarily him. Taysom Hill did not play, was not active, in street clothes. And I was worried about that from the start of the game because, even though he's not catching a lot of passes, even though he's not rushing the ball a lot, I don't think Saints fans realize how much he was doing in the blocking game and the scheming game.
I did not realize, Andrew, in the past 6 games, Taysom has missed the Saints average under 13 points a game.
Yeah, he's like the keystone, he's that middle brick at the top of an arch, and you remove that and the whole thing comes down. And so, to be fair, I think that the Saints were kind of doomed to begin with. And, McCoy didn't go down on the first drive. He did.
He went down 3 plays in, man.
He did? I
yes.
thought it was like the second drive. Okay, well, never mind.
It was the 3 plays in.
Never mind. Anyway, yeah. I mean, like I said, so the Saints were already, wounded without Taysom, and McCoy. That was just the straw that broke the camel's back. And it was disappointing because I was hoping, they played out the first half. It was tough sledding. I was disappointed because I guess I was kind of hoping that they were going to go into the locker room at halftime and they were going to come out and they were going to make some kind of adjustment.
Flex seal it up.
Bringing in extra blocking, extra tight ends, doing whatever, chipping guys, that kind of stuff, just figuring it out. But that didn't seem to really happen. I'm gonna give out all my thoughts now while I have the floor because I know we may or may not ever come back to it. Look, I know Nick Sirianni got a whole bunch of shit for the play calling, and they're going for it on 4th down multiple times, especially, when the half was ending and all he was doing was trying to give himself one shot at the end zone. Look, honestly, the both of them, Sirianni and Dennis Allen, I thought they were both stupid. You don't know. So. Let me tell you something. It was 3-0 going into the fourth quarter. Okay, points were at a premium. Points were at a premium. This was the time, but neither of these coaches were reading the room. This was a game. This was a game where if you could get points, you had to get points. Neither of these offenses. I don't know what DA or Sirianni saw in either of their offenses where they felt like they could pick up these fourth downs also. To me, and so I'm just as pissed off that DA decided to go for it on that fourth down and not kick the field goal. Because had he kicked that field goal, we could have used those 3 points at the end of the game. And again, like I said, normally if it's a different kind of game, if the situation is different, go for it. This was a 3-0 game, and another 3 points could be the freaking difference maker.
I will also, to further illustrate your point, you mentioned how they missed Taysom. I don't know that there was a play in that game that was more emblematic of them missing Taysom.
That's right.
That failure to make that 4th and 1.
Well, and here's the thing that
you're also again another mark on a knock on the DA in this game is you're down Taysom, you're down McCoy. You're gonna go for it. Take the points.
That's my thing.
Is DA the guy you should be crushing there though?
I don't know. Kubiak.
I don't know. Here's my thing with the fourth down.
The same thing would be said about Sirianni, obviously.
The fourth down.
Sirianni's an idiot. If Sirianni was my coach, I would jump off a building. I would jump off of the tallest roof, one shell square, whatever. Sirianni should be arrested for crimes against football humanity.
Here's my thing that was so frustrating, Andrew, is I know that the fourth down go for it bot was strong go for it for the Saints because they could be up, they could get it and then maybe score a touchdown and be up 10-0. But my thing is and I've argued with the analytic nerds over this. They're when it's 4th and 1, injuries don't matter because it's just one play. And I'm nerds, I do not accept that premise. And my thing, why I wanted them to kick the field goal, because it's one thing if you don't have Eric McCoy and you would have had Taysom and you'd be we trust Taysom. He always gets a yard. We could have preschoolers blocking for him. He'll get us a yard, right? Okay, cool. But when you don't have McCoy and you don't have Taysom and you're in a low scoring game, that's when I was kick the field goal.
Well, you guys are both wrong because Blake Groupie was missing the kick either way. Right? Spoiler alert.
Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. But to be fair, he did barely make the first one by caroming it off.
He got the doink. He got the Saints had the Saints had kicking luck extraordinaire. They hit the upright and it went in. They blocked the punt. They got 2 turnovers. They still couldn't win.
I mean, the thing that was hilarious for me,
they didn't deserve to win.
Sirianni, the whole game was I'm not kicking a field goal. I'm going for it. I'm not kicking a field goal.
It's right.
And then he's a 60-yarder? I can give them insane field position if we miss with the game on the line. Absolutely. It's crazy. This is the time we should kick.
I feel
it's like the George, because honestly, it should be the Nick Sirianni theory. Whatever Nick Sirianni would do, you should do the opposite, and that's what will be successful.
I feel like Nick Sirianni is me in Vegas at 1 a.m. before me and my wife had Max, and I would just be drunk and making horrible decisions.
Shots.
I'm hitting on 17. I'm staying on 14. I'm hitting on 18. I'm staying on 12. It makes no sense because I'm 9 vodka tonics in.
Right. Well, anyway, but my point is look, Nick Sirianni, both coaches made really, I thought, bad decisions. Nick Sirianni just really outdumbed DA by quite a bit, and so that was kind of the talk. But I didn't want to let DA and or Kubiak off the hook because I thought that 4th down call was not the right call, given the situation.
Nick Underhill went full Dr. Doom and tweeted out that the Saints injury report is going to be the most devastating thing of our entire lives tomorrow at 3:00. Andrew, let's start with McCoy. Is one thing when you got Eric McCoy and you're we're going to protect the tackles and we're going to do this. I feel now the offensive line, it's in a crisis mode because you can't both protect your interior and protect your tackles. So what do the Saints try to do against Atlanta on Sunday, offensive line wise?
Not block Grady Jarrett. Yeah, I mean, look, Eric McCoy is irreplaceable. There's no one on this team that can play center half as good as he can. So, I think back to when, what was his name? Olin Kreutz was the center for the Saints.
Oh, Lord.
And he was unplayable, and he wasn't playing well, and there was turmoil, and he was cooked. He was finished. He was no longer the player he once was. Physically, he couldn't do it. So the Saints make a move to an undrafted rookie, Brian De La Puente, and he kind of held up. He was okay. And it's not like Brian De La Puente was ever Max Unger level. He was never Jay Hilgenberg level or Joel Hilgenberg. He was never... he was never LaCharles Bentley. He was never a great center for the Saints, but he was serviceable that season. And so I think what you have to hope is whoever comes in, they're not going to be McCoy. But can they go in and not?
The Saints don't have two Hall of Fame guards to help him, though. The Saints had
not. Yeah.
They had two Hall of Fame level guards. Jari Evans might make the Hall of Fame.
Okay, Ralph, you win. It's going to be horrible.
Dave, the other thing that is...
Oh, wait.
Go ahead.
Another thing. Just overall, just going along with this whole injury thing, I don't think any of us should be surprised. I think what we saw the first 2 weeks, I think what we are now realizing is that was not the norm. That was not the standard. And I think what we've seen is a regression to the mean.
Well, no, I think my biggest concern isn't
because we all predicted, other than Ralph, again, the rest of us, me, Andrew, Kevin, we were predicting losing seasons. So I feel like this is falling in line. It wasn't going to be the first 2 weeks.
My biggest concern is Dallas's ass.
Correct, and that's the other thing.
We thought beating Dallas was an accomplishment. No. It might not be anything.
Right. We just happened to play the two worst. Yeah, we happened to play the two worst teams in the NFL.
Well, no, Carolina. Now that they got the Red Rifle in, they're an NFL franchise again.
They didn't have the Red Rifle when we played them.
That's right. So now they're an NFL. But this is my concern, Dave. Another one with the Saints is Alvin Kamara. 26 runs. He's on pace for 300 carries in a season. That feels insane.
Yeah. That's, again, also, you talk about House of Cards or injury. What the hell happens if the second Kamara is gone? We have nothing.
I feel like he's going to be on that injury report.
I feel like that too. I feel like
oh Jesus.
I feel like
then you better buckle up, because
you can timestamp that shit. I'm telling you right now, Alvin Kamara is going to be on that injury.
Like I'm saying, if you don't have Kamara,
timestamp on this.
If you don't have Kamara, you don't have anything, because as far as I'm concerned, what I've seen from Kubiak's offense the last 3 games, this offense runs through Kamara. And Jamal Williams, I think, is a fine, serviceable, running back, but he cannot he certainly cannot do half of the things that Kamara can do. I don't think he's
serviceable. They didn't trust him at all against Philadelphia in a tight game. They're like, he got one carry for negative 1 yard.
Taysom Hill is out of the game and Jamal Williams plays less. That was a weird development.
And Andrew, the thing that made it even weirder was Jamal had looked competent the first 2 weeks. So it was very strange. People in the chat, Kenu to you said Saints 48, Falcons nothing. Put Ruiz at center. You can't run Kamara up the middle. It runs through Taysom Hill. I will say this: if Kamara doesn't play and they have to put Taysom Hill at running back, Taysom Hill is a certified Falcons killer. He might be up there with Drew and Cam Jordan as all-time Falcon killers. So, but Andrew, with this offense, if Kamara is banged up, and let's say he plays, but they want to limit him, what do you do? Because you don't trust your offensive line to pass block. What would sort of be the plan, you think?
I mean, I don't think it changes. I think you hope to establish the run, and then set up play action from there, and hope that you can run 3 receivers and Shaheed, Olave, and whatever else is fast enough and runs good enough routes that Atlanta can't cover it. I think that's kind of how they've approached the first few games, and you got to hope it works this week.
Dave, how much crap should we give Derek Carr? Because he did lead them on a touchdown drive to put them ahead, and they were winning, and they had him in 3rd and 16. And if the defense doesn't do the 3 stooges, then we're like Derek Carr when they got behind 7-3, Derek Carr led him on a field goal and a touchdown. He got it together. He played tough in the 4th quarter. But he did throw a terrible interception where the line just crumbled around him. How do we feel about Derek Carr's performance Sunday?
I'm finding it hard to put too much blame on him, again, considering no Taysom, no McCoy. But what it does say to me, which I guess it more reaffirms what I've always thought, and that is that I don't think Derek Carr is an elite quarterback like a Drew Brees, a Patrick Mahomes, or whatever, who is good enough to overcome those kinds of issues, those kinds of obstacles, those kinds of setbacks, and still make it work. Like, I think Derek Carr, I guess maybe you could call him a system quarterback. He's a system quarterback. You got to have a good system around him.
Derek Carr is not an elite quarterback. He's not a guy that everything else doesn't matter. He's so good. He's not Josh Allen or
he doesn't elevate everybody else.
Daniels we saw last night. He might be that kind of player, but like Josh Allen as an established one, or Patrick Mahomes is an established one. We're like, those guys are good. They lose Tyreek Hill. They lose Stephon Diggs. It doesn't matter. They're still awesome. To me, Derek Carr is one of many quarterbacks in the league that, depending on the week and the matchup and the health of his offensive line and who his playmakers are, he oscillates anywhere from a top 10 quarterback to like bottom feeder, like 25th best quarterback. So there's a lot of guys in that league. I think Dak Prescott is there to some degree. I mean, I think most people would say Dak's a stronger player than Derek Carr, but I don't think there's a massive difference between the two. There's not.
Dallas paid him $60 million.
I don't think there's an ocean that separates those guys. I think Andy Dalton is arguably in that bucket. And, Andy Dalton just threw for 360 yards and 4 touchdowns against the Raiders. And again, it's a weak opponent, but he comes in, it plays for an offense that was absolutely incapable, wasn't making any plays, and he shows up and he's lights out and he helps them win.
Somebody tweeted every quarterback in the NFC South is Andy Dalton. There's Andy Dalton, Goff Andy Dalton, Achilles Andy Dalton, and Midget Andy Dalton.
I like that.
Yeah.
I think so. There's actual Andy Dalton. There's Derek Carr. There's Baker Mayfield. Kirk Cousins. I don't think there's much that separates those players. So I really do think week to week it just depends on the circumstances. But so that's both a knock on Carr, I guess. We're saying he's not elite, but we're also saying he's capable of leading a team to the playoffs and winning games if he has proper support. We saw the first 2 weeks how special he can be when he has a running game and he has complementary defense and he has play action to set up his throws. And he looked awesome. He had the highest rating of any QB in the league. And then when his offensive line implodes, the running game doesn't exist. And all of a sudden, it gets a lot harder for him. So that's what we saw. I mean, I do to your point, Ralph, I think Carr stepped up with the game on the line, threw a great touchdown pass to Olave. That drive was tremendous. He stepped up with the game on the line. But I think after that touchdown, I'll go back to the pick. I mean, I said this in the post game. The pick didn't bother me as much because you're at a point now where you're under a minute left. You got to make something happen. There's pressure in your face.
You can't take a sack.
You've got to take on more risk because of the situation. So, like, it was a terrible throw. I wish the Saints had lived to see another play, but like, I'm not going to crucify the guy for that. Like that happens to all quarterbacks. I've seen Drew make that throw. What bothered me more was the 2-point conversion. I think the play was there. If he hits Jamal Williams with the throw leading him and hits him leading him to the end zone, I think that 2-point conversion is good. And I think regardless of the disaster on 3rd and 16 with Dallas Goedert, I think he's still running. But I think the Saints could have survived that play if Carr makes a better throw on that 2-point conversion.
Yeah. Well,
but I mean, that's the thing about games like this, right? You can like pinpoint like 7 different plays. Dave mentioned the 4th and 1. The 2-point conversion, the
2 drops by Shaheed.
It's one of those games where you can go back and point out 7 different plays, or if they go differently, the Saints win. Those are tough ones to lose.
I'll tell you
Carr is not good enough to elevate those around him.
I'll tell you
but those around him can elevate his game.
Well, I'll tell you what's would be tough to lose. Thomas, give us a donations update.
Donations update. We are 10%, guys.
We're not doing this for free.
In jeopardy. We are on a 58-week donation streak. And by the way, last week, your boy Alan won with 38.3. And tonight, thanks to Jason Champagne for super chatting, he with donation message. Just re-upped on Twitch using Prime. Give Saints Happy Hour Jeff Bezos money. And yeah, guys, we are not on Twitch anymore, but you can still support us for free with if you use Amazon Prime, by the way. So that doesn't change. Also, thanks to Aldi Marino for $5 donation. So Jason Champagne is in the lead with $5.
Thank you. I'll tell you what is amazing. Hard Hide Ponchatoula Strawberry Whiskey is amazing. It is a strawberry flavored whiskey blended with aged wheat whiskey, American light whiskey, Cocktail and Sons, strawberry and lemon syrup, fresh strawberries from Jonesdale Farm in Ponchatoula, Louisiana. It's 86 proof. The whiskey is blended and bottled at the Sugarfield Distillery in Gonzales, Louisiana. You can pick up a bottle wherever fine spirits are sold in Louisiana, Mississippi, Texas, and Tennessee. To learn more and to find a location to get a bottle near you, go to hardhidestrawberrywhiskey.com. Hard Hide Ponchatoula Strawberry Whiskey is supporting Saints Happy Hour all football season. So support the people who support the show. Grab a bottle of Hard Hide Ponchatoula Strawberry Whiskey today. All right. With the Saints injury apocalypse fast approaching us, Dave, like a Category 5 hurricane, this is getting overlooked. Dennis Allen gently announced the Saints, they aren't going to be playing Cam Jordan much anymore. Thomas, play that sound of DA.
Roger that. Almost have it ready. There you go.
Yeah, look, I mean, I think you're probably going to see a little bit more of...
Oh, interception!
Still a vital part of what...
I'm drinking. We need to make Ralph drink.
That's my favorite.
$20 super
it's
chat.
My favorite donation ever because it stopped DA from talking.
Let's play it again.
Look, I mean, I think you're probably going to see a little bit more of, Chase and Carl. Look, Cam's still a vital part of what we do, but I think we'll see a little bit more of those other guys. No, it boils down to, effectiveness. And I think those two guys have been playing at a pretty high level, and it's no disrespect or anything negative towards Cam. It's just, that's kind of how this game goes at some point in time. But he's still extremely important part of what we do.
I mean, that's brutal, Andrew.
Did he respond to that? Has he said anything about this?
Cam, I don't know.
Like on Twitter?
I mean, would anyone disagree that Chase Young and Carl Granderson look way better than Cam Jordan?
No. Cam Jordan looks mega cooked.
Do we want Cam Jordan to get more snaps over either of those two players?
No. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I don't know. He's not cooked. I mean,
yes,
but
he is.
He's not. Yeah, he's cooked.
Let's be
honest, he's completely. I think there's still snaps for him to be had. Like, is Cam like way worse than Peyton Turner? Like, is Peyton Turner giving him something? You know, like it is when it's third down and you got to decide who's a defensive tackle pass rushing. Obviously, Brian Bresee is up to 3 sacks now in 3 games. So Bresee's playing great, but you know, who else next to Bresee? If you have Young, Granderson, Bresee, like who's that fourth guy? I think Cam Jordan gets some snaps there potentially. So yeah, I think what DA said, you know, there's still an opportunity for him to get on the field, but yeah, clearly it's the beginning of the end. Like we all see it.
No, I mean, and here's the thing. They're stuck with him for this year and next year. Like I don't see a way around it, because the thing is they have Ramczyk that they're probably going to post June 1st cut. Kamara, his contract, they have to do that to void it, to get the $25 million in cap. So like, I think it becomes they're stuck with Cam. You know, I mean, they probably shouldn't have extended him when they did, but you know that Loomis math made things difficult, and they kind of
pulled the old Nick Fairley.
They're pretty lucky that, you know, Tyrann Mathieu and Demario Davis and you know, these guys and Taysom Hill, that they haven't fallen off a cliff, you know, because Cam kind of has, Ramczyk has, and you know, that's the one thing. Like we keep saying, their cap is fake and Mickey Loomis can figure it out, and that's mostly true, but it does force you to hang on to players longer than you would normally want.
I mean, they hung on to Michael Thomas like 3 years too long.
Yes.
But it is a good, like Taysom, Honey Badger, and Demario Davis, they're all playing well. They're also all banged up. So, you know, it is a concern. Dave,
can James Hurst play center?
I would. Can we get him? Can he eat like a couple cheeseburgers?
Retired, right, Dave?
I mean, they can give him a couple of cheeseburgers. Yes. Could he give him one game? I mean,
yeah. Let's check it out.
We are down.
How hard could it be to just put
we
the ball
are in
through
hard times. We are in hard times when we are pining for James Hurst, like a hobo looks at a sandwich in a window. It's bad times.
Yeah, you're
Cam
so
Jordan,
down on your luck. You're looking at going to Subway for a meal.
The defense, Granderson was
Olive Garden.
Granderson was incredible against the Eagles, and the Saints have had a ton of pressure and sacks. Really, they had some sacks against Hurts. They had 3 against Dak Prescott, because I had to do 3 shots of hardhide. Andrew, is this a sign that you think this pass rush for the Saints is sustainable, or were their first 3 opponents compromised or bad on the offensive line for a myriad of reasons? Or do you believe in this pass rush?
I feel like Granderson was playing awesome before the Eagles lost their tackle. No, I mean, look, I think Chase Young and Granderson are a formidable tandem. And I think Brian Bresee is benefiting from their play to an extent and cleaning up the garbage. So I think with the 3 of them, this pass rush has a nice combination of players. And like, look, Cam, Peyton Turner, like Shepard, like they have a decent rotation. Like I'm feeling good about the defensive line. I think it's better than last year. I think Granderson has taken a step up from last year even. Granderson's a good player.
Did you guys see Trey Hendrickson last night?
Oh my God. He
is a beast.
I'll never.
Did you guys see that Marcus Davenport is injured and out for the year?
Shocker.
No way.
I mean,
way.
What a surprise.
Some things change. Some things.
I mean, we couldn't come up with the money to pay Trey Hendrickson. All the other idiots we've signed since then.
They didn't think
we stuck with Davenport.
They didn't think Trey Hendrickson was good.
My God.
They didn't think Trey Hendrickson was good. They called him Try Hard Trey in the building from what I am told. Like the Saints just didn't believe he was that good.
Meaning what? He tried hard? That he was like, like
They didn't think.
Are you saying like he was like the Rudy? Like he went above and beyond and annoyed everybody because he was so.
No, just they
what does
thought
that
he was
mean?
they thought he was a product of their good defensive line. They thought he was good because they had DeMario and Pete Cam Jordan and Marcus Davenport was great in 20. You know, he was hurt. They thought he was a product of their defense, not an all-pro defensive end, which he was. That's all I'm saying. And he looked amazing last night. Although
he had 17.5 sacks last year.
It's pretty incredible that Cincinnati has an all-pro defensive end and their defense is still complete and utter ass and got roasted by Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels, the better LSU quarterback.
Hendrickson
and Ellen DeGeneres
is pretty one-dimensional. I mean, he's always been shaky against the run, which is why I think the Saints hated him.
You know, Nick Cook in the chat makes an interesting point that Pete Warner still looks awesome as well. Andrew, you mentioned it on the post-game show, but are we kind of back to what we thought? You know, Dave mentioned it in the beginning of the show, where hey, you know, we all thought the Saints, except for me, thought they would struggle and it would be a hard season. But are we kind of, maybe not to where they're going to have a losing season, but are we back to what we thought they would be in that Sunday with the injuries on the offensive line and different things? Like, it's up to this defense to get it done. It's up to the defense has got to carry the day, at least for a while, if they're beat up on the offensive line.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and this is what I expected all season. I mean, what we saw on Sunday was kind of what I expected the Saints to be. The first 2 weeks threw me for a loop. I was like, who is this team? Who is this quarterback? But losing 15-12 at home to the Eagles with a defense that held up all day until the fourth quarter when they completely imploded and watched a tight end who's literally the only guy they had to cover because A.J. Brown was hurt, because Devontae Smith was hurt, and that was literally the only guy. The one guy you had to cover, they couldn't do it. They run into each other. He runs for 70 yards, even though he's a freaking ice wagon tight end. But yeah, that's what I expected the Saints to be this year. It was so incredibly frustrating because they okey-doked me for a couple weeks. But now we're back. And yeah, it's going to be a slog. They're going to have to grind their way through these wins with good defensive play. They're going to have to pick off Cousins a couple times. They're going to have to keep him in the pocket. You know, they're going to have to cover well. They're going to have to try to stop Bijan from running all over them. But yeah, like that's how they win games moving forward.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking like verbal meme.
Like, I know I'm like 2 years old with this, but like tight ends killing the Saints is like a story as old as time.
Taylor's old as time.
DA is back on that bullshit. Like, oh, who's their tight end? Let's make sure he cooks us.
It really did. It really did have a what do you say? Like a 2015 Saints feel to it.
Yes,
it really did.
I'm making a meme right now.
The people in the chat, the Saints D kryptonite is tight end. Have we ever seen, Andrew? Have you ever seen three Saints defenders collide into each other? I can't remember the Saints ever doing that. I've seen them lose and hysterically. And
when did that happen? I didn't.
I'm sure Rob Ryan's defense.
I mean, three dudes. Three dudes running into each other.
But man, it was just.
When did that happen?
It was a clown show.
It was the climatic. It was the dramatic.
Dallas Goedert, the 70
Dallas Goedert.
The game
really?
on the line, 3rd and 16. Third and freaking 16.
That's how he got loose because they collided with each other.
Yes,
that's embarrassing.
That's
I'm like still just thinking about it. I'm so frustrated. Like, it was the one freaking guy you had to cover. The one guy.
The one.
By the way, if we want to blame anybody, who are
we going to blame?
Bulldog Saint and her husband, they left. I think when the Saints were winning, they left to beat traffic to drive back.
That's egregious.
I think that's when we started losing.
Damn.
So I'm just going to blame them. Yeah, I'm going to blame
Dave throwing his friends under the bus. Jesus, Dave.
And to be fair, Bulldog Saint did not want to go. She was being forced against her will to go.
Andy Marino, I thought Kevin was the one who didn't watch the games.
We never force people against their
I was
will.
at the game.
We never force people against their will to donate. Thomas, give us a donation update real quick before we get to the hotline.
All right, so who's in the lead? Who that golfer is in the lead with $20. Also thanks to Nick Cook for $7 super chat. And we are at 37 out of 100.
Come on, we gotta get. You get if you can't show it, Thomas, because I think the new YouTube, the narrow you
I
get.
can.
We have a fathead of Jim Mora, horseshit ball carrying that you get. That's the prize. Custom Jim Mora fathead that we're gonna give away at the end of the year. It's amazing, and if you're MVP, you get into.
Dave, you got to send that meme you just sent us to Thomas in Discord.
I did already.
He sent it. He sent it to me.
I was just thinking about it. That's the way I feel about about the game on Sunday.
That's a good one. I'm gonna post it later. Also, you know what? Wait, let me show it first.
I'm excited to show the people the meme that Dave is sending around.
That's pretty funny. For those of you that are maybe just listening, it's a Scooby-Doo cartoon where what's the character?
Fred is
unmasking the villain, and the villain has a mask on, and the meme says Clint Kubiak under the masked villain, and then he unveils the face, he takes the mask off, and it says Pete Carmichael. Oh, that's funny.
I mean, it felt a little bit like the constipated offense of Pete Carmichael in November, watching that Eagles game.
No, in November they were good, right?
No, December.
Like October. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, so it was a struggle. I'll tell you what wasn't a struggle though. 12 calls, and the uncensored version of the hotline is 7 minutes long. Unfortunately, doom and gloom is here. Even though it was just the first loss of the season, people were already declaring the season is over at halftime. On a positive note, a certain person with a radio voice finally called in. Thomas, play the hotline. It's time for this week's hottest takes from the Saints Happy Hour Hotline.
Woo! Troutman hater here. At least you know when Turan gets burnt the next play, he's going to take a pick. Let's go. Who that, baby?
Well, guys, it's halftime. We're up 3-0, but it's pretty clear the season is over. I guess unless we can put Rattler in at center. Go Saints.
Gentlemen, it's Adam, the radio voice from the eastern shore of Maryland. Finally found the number. Giving you guys a shout. The Saints got a huge plate of humble pie today, period. I think they ate the cheese and they believe their own hype. I also believe in jinxes. They need to stop doing Fox NFL interviews this early in the season. It kills them. Anyway, sucks. It's awful that Taysom Hill goes out and Eric McCoy goes out and then their offense crumbles. But the Eagles were backed into a corner. I feel sorry for the Falcons next week. I think the Saints are going to go into Atlanta and absolutely murder them next week. Can't wait. Love you guys. Appreciate everything you guys do. Talk to you soon. Be good. Who dat?
The Saints without McCoy are an 8-win team. This is bullshit. This is fucking bullshit.
Hey, man. It's fucking Dustin J from the motherfucking Discord, all right? I'm calling on Monday fucking morning, hungover as shit, driving to work, listening to Ralph, Andrew, and Kevin shit all over my franchise, and it sure as feels like the old Saints are back. That was some vintage 1995 fucking Dicka, whatever the fuck year it was, 99, whatever the fuck year it was, bullshit, but we're going to come back better. I need Ralph to offer up his groin as a sacrifice in a medical surgery for Eric McCoy. I'm sure he's willing to make that motherfucking sacrifice. Nick
Totally.
Sirianni, that is a dumb motherfucker. I just put it out there. Like, we should have been getting blown the out, but that motherfucker is stupid. If he could have a head coaching job, they need to hire me. It, man. That's what I'm talking about. And we're going to go 3-1 next week. Them birds. Later.
15-12, 1 minute left. I mean, field goal, it should be pretty easy. I'm thinking just a deep bomb to Shaheed. Dude, if that happens, I'm going to need a towel. Because he's on my fantasy team, too, and he hasn't got me nothing. I don't know. I don't even know what to say anymore.
You need to clip
my guy in Alabama. I didn't know. I don't know. Are the laws different in Alabama? I didn't think you could drink and drive in any of the 50 states.
I mean, Alabama.
He was hangover.
He was hungover. So technically, his blood alcohol level was.
Let's be honest. How
Sleep
often
it off
are
a little
you,
bit more.
how often are you using your groin? It's expendable.
I mean, listen. If you told me that it could get, if Christian McCaffrey can go to Germany to get like goat's blood or whatever to get his tendonitis looked at, why can't we send McCoy to like Romania and he could get like a horse
bit by
like
a
horse
vampire?
groin.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly, if he's getting the surgery for the groin, he's going to Dr. Myers in Philadelphia. He's getting the mesh. I mean, lock it in. I didn't have McCoy getting the mesh on my bingo card, unfortunately, but that's probably where we are. Before we get to the questions, I want to ask you guys this. I know, look, the offensive line is what it is, and you've got Olave, and you've got Shaheed, and maybe Taysom will play, and maybe he won't. Who's a guy, besides the case of the usual suspects, that needs to step up against the Falcons?
Juwan Johnson been at.
Is he still on the team?
Like, he used to be like kind of exciting, kind of semi-good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, could he maybe go nuts for a game?
Yeah.
I mean, I know like Foster Morrow's kind of like the tight end ahead of him now, and he starts, but like, I don't know. I know he missed like most of training camp with the calf or whatever, but
foot.
But now would be a good time, Juwan.
I mean, he was Juwan Johnson. I mean, I know they don't pay him a ton, but like they gave him a nice deal, and he's, besides that Tampa game last year, he ain't really done jack squat in 2 years.
I think he'd probably be considered in the regular rotation of regular guys, but I mean, Chris Olave hasn't really taken over a game.
He made every big catch against the Eagles.
No, he didn't. Alvin Kamara probably made the biggest catch in the game.
No, Chris Olave had like 6 for 80 in the touchdown that put him ahead. And I think 5 of his 6 catches were
86 yards. Come on, man.
No, I know that. Yes, I did. But Chris Olave, what I'm saying is like Chris Olave is not taking over a game. Like I want to see Chris Olave with like 150 yards and 2 touchdowns or 3 touchdowns. Kamara
86 isn't enough. Ralph, come on, man.
Ralph, why is why is Kevin dressed as Dave? What's going on?
Yeah. Why? Wasn't Olave cooking the Falcons last year in Atlanta and he got hurt? Or did I remember that wrong? Like he had like,
I don't know, but I'm being serious. Like, I mean, he's our best wide receiver. Like at some point, like there should be a game where your best wide receiver takes over a game and dominates a game, or is an X factor in a game. And I haven't seen that yet. Like we need him to step up.
Well, that's true.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get to Atlanta. Atlanta, they have some weird vibes and stuff going on. But before we get to that, we're going to do a viewer mail. The Saints viewer Saints Happy Hour viewer questions are brought to you by Hard Hide, Ponchatoula Strawberry Whiskey. You can pick up a bottle wherever fine spirits are sold in Louisiana, Mississippi, Texas, and Tennessee. To learn more and to find a location to get a bottle near you, go to hardhidestrawberrywhiskey.com. Thomas, take it to the top.
Before I take it to the top, thanks to Errol for $10 super chat. We are more than halfway there.
People. Not enough.
Less than 50 away. Come on, guys.
Come on, make it happen. If we don't reach the streak, Thomas has to panhandle in Poland to make up the difference. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Jesus.
People want the life of Tomas. They demand it. They demand more of it. I'm just saying.
Have we gotten another one?
We have not, Thomas. I'm just saying. People
since the original.
The Discord are clamoring.
I thought people are paying for this.
They are. The gold member, do it. We did a Zoom for the gold people last week. It was amazing. You should do it. Become a patron at the gold level. All right, Thomas. What's first up?
Oh shit, wait, I think we had a $50 donation from Nick Cook, but it didn't trigger for some reason. So I gotta play, you know what, I'm gonna start this one, and I'm gonna play this one.
Oh. Thank you, Nick. What are we gonna do? I guess we're gonna do water with jalapeno? Watermelon, I should say.
Also, thanks to San Antonio Saints for $10 donation. Damn, I don't know what this is with these super chats, but sometimes they don't trigger, guys. Consider donating via Stream Elements, guys. Exclamation point!
Thomas.
Donate.
All right, I'm gonna. Oh God, this smells awful. You know. I don't like. Why would you make watermelon jalapeno anything? Like that just seems.
Yeah, it sounds awful.
It does. I got the puke bucket right here, just in case.
And the puke meter is on.
Yeah, the puke meter is on. We'll see how this goes. All right. Ooh. Man, that is disgusting. It is. Sally, I need help. Sally is locked into the Astros, Thomas. I could drop dead. They're like 9 outs away from clinching a division title. She ain't moving off that couch to save me. She'll just collect
the score.
4-3, they're winning. Bottom of the sixth.
I meant the alcohol score.
Oh, it's 8.5. It's 8.5. It's disgusting.
All right.
Oh, thank you, Nick. It was good. I mean, yeah. But
so
I
the
will
streak
say this,
lives, guys. We are
the streak lives. I will say this, Andrew. The last batch of people that sent me stuff, Patrick, Who Dat Golfer, a bunch of different people. I can't remember them all. They now understand the assignment and are just sending me the most disgusting things to drink.
Well done, boys.
I've got 3 different brands of coffee flavored booze. We'll get to that. The Jaeger, it's just disgusting.
I played in a golf tournament this week, and they had little bottles of peanut butter whiskey that they were giving out, so I stole a couple to give to you.
Yeah. Ugh. Well, I don't want to give any. I don't want to give it
Screwball.
Yeah, it's not that brand. It's a different brand though.
The Screwball one is giant. I got it. I got to find it. It's like a can, and it's like, I don't know if you're supposed to sip on it, but it's like a can the size of this. My Hard Hide strawberry whiskey and lemonade. It's like that big. And by the way, we got something we're trying to cook up before the end of the season. I'm not going to give it away, but it's something fun. We're working on it. Thomas, what we got in the mailbag? Hit us up.
All right, first question of the mailbag from LD. It's been a while. Do Clint and DA rip Trevor a new one for that unnecessary roughing play on Slay, or do they smile, slap his ass, and tell him to run that back against the Falcons?
Yes.
I mean,
I think there's
well,
a small part of. So the Saints ended up scoring a touchdown on that drive, I believe. So it didn't backfire. I think the thing that drove them nuts was like that kind of stuff gets you beat. You know, right? That's a mistake that's just so egregious. It kills the drive. It kills your chances. So like that can't happen. So yeah, he absolutely got killed for it. But
if you can do it and get away with it, then yes,
I think they kind of I think you're onto something. I get why you're asking the question. You phrased it the way you did because I think someone accused DA of having a dirty team, and he's like, I don't think we're dirty. You know, we play tough, we play hard. But I think deep down, DA wants that kind of team. It's kind of playing right up to the whistle and maybe a teeny bit after it. You know, I don't think he wanted Devontae Smith knocked out of the game and concussed and that. But like, I think there was a little bit of like when Christian Boyd blew up Devontae Smith on that play, as violent and as scary as that play was, I think DA and the Saints coaching staff, there's a little bit of attaboy going on there.
Dave, I got to say this, and this is a weird feeling that I have. I was more annoyed after the game with CD Deuce just rubbing it in the Saints' faces and talking his talk and all that. I was more annoyed with him making no plays in the game and getting cooked by Olave and talking crap after the game than if he would have made the game-winning play. Like if he'd have made a play in the game, just one play, and like that would have helped the Eagles win, I'd be like, okay, you get to talk your talk, you won. But he did nothing. In fact, he got roasted on the most important play of the defense, and he still talked the talk, and it annoyed me to no end. Am I old man yelling at clouds?
No, that's first of all, would you expect anything less from CD? I mean, that's
that's true.
But no, that's a legitimate gripe. That's not some irrational thing.
If
I
you're
think.
gonna talk trash, you gotta back it up. You can't play like shit.
No, that's a tale as old as time.
Yeah, he did play like. I'm just saying, Thomas. What's next?
All right,
I'm eating an RX bar, by the way. For those of you worried about how much crap and candy I eat, I'm eating an RX protein.
Too much.
Oh, yeah. What's next, Thomas?
So
next
that's
question
good, right?
From Saints Rabbit. He asks, after CD got away with a questionable late tackle against Kamara early, he later had the audacity to accuse the Saints of an intentional dirty hit on Devontae Smith. Knowing this, how would you all like to see CJ Gardner-Johnson's season or even career falter after this?
How would we like to see it? Like what? Like a sequence of events?
I foreshadowed that he was gonna get shipped out back when he was everyone's favorite player, and everyone went nuts on me on Twitter for it. I was privy to stuff at the time that other people were not. He's fit for the loony bin, man. Like I don't know how else to put it. Like the guy is nuts. And I think there's times where his antics are fun for fans on the field. I saw him, not this week, but the week prior, he did his move again where he ripped the mouthpiece off the face mask and got hit in the head. I can't believe he didn't get the other guy ejected for punching him. Somehow he didn't get ejected, but that's how he rolls. And, he's selfish. He is cancerous. And that's why he hasn't stuck on any team, and he keeps moving from Detroit to Philly.
Well, Philadelphia finally paid him because they.
I mean, sort of. They didn't pay him what he wanted, which was to be the highest paid safety in the history of the league. When he was with the Saints,
please.
So he had to kind of get a dose of reality after a bunch of teams were like, yeah, we're not bringing you back. But I just think he's a ticking time bomb. I think he's one of those players where it's only a matter of time where people are going to start pointing the finger at him because he's not playing as well, where he makes a mistake and he's going to start pointing the finger back, and there's going to be internal problems, and that's when the Eagles will get rid of him, just like everyone else did. And so, like, I'm not rooting against him necessarily, because, like, I just know those kind of players, like, it's only a matter of time before they take care of whatever it is we're rooting for. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need to root for that. Like, CD's going to take care of that on his own. And you know what? He's a good player. He's a ball hawk. He's got good instincts. So he's going to make plays, and it'll be just enough to keep him around the league. But ultimately, guys like that always falter.
I still kind of love him because the Tampa shutout when he tormented Tom Brady, it warmed my heart, and it's one of my favorite Saints memories since the no call. And that night made me really happy. And I still kind of love him for it.
He also played into the Falcons rivalry.
Yes,
I have to say.
Yeah.
This doesn't technically answer the question, because the question was how would we potentially want to see his career falter? So this isn't what I would want to see by any stretch of the imagination. But it wouldn't, like, if there was a vote going around that said which player was most likely to get shot, I think CD Deuce would probably be at the top of the list. Like, I could see him. Yeah, like I could see him doing something annoying somebody and like pissing somebody off, and then, like, you know, he's just
I mean,
he's just like that kind of.
I'm not really rooting for him to get, like, injured.
I'm not saying he, like, runs with a bad crowd. I'm just saying, like, I could see him.
I would never root
like
for
in
him
some like road rage accident, like some road rage.
I would never root for him to get injured. I would
pissing the wrong person off.
I feel like even the wrong crowd knows not to hang out.
The best scenario for CD is the Saints play the Eagles in a playoff game, and CD makes such a catastrophic error that it lives forever.
Well, I think I'm with Ralph. So, like, if you were to ask me, like, what's something terrible that I would want to happen to CD Deuce, like, I don't need him to go to jail or get injured or anything sinister, but, like, yeah, I would love to play them again, and he costs them the game, and just fans like never let him hear the end of it on social media. Like, that would be amazing.
Yeah. Thomas, what's next?
All right, next question. Next question belongs to Ali Marino, and he asks, why haven't we realized that it's not that Kevin is into nurses, but that nurses see Kevin as a nurse catnip?
Ooh.
It's not that Kevin's into nurses, it's that nurses are into Kevin.
He's nurse catnip.
I think
what is Kevin that would be so attractive to women in the medical industry?
Is it possible that just nurses there's a disproportionate number of nurses on these apps that he's on?
Yes, I think that could be it.
Because nurses have, like, weird hours. It's hard to have a social life, and I don't know.
He's
There's
swimming
probably,
in
like,
the
social explanation here.
Kevin is swimming in the nurses.
Kevin's
lagoon.
in the chat.
Yeah, Kevin. Kevin just tweeted a stethoscope or posted it.
Tweeted.
They want to medicate Kevin, and he said yes, 100%.
Maybe nurses just want to bang, man. You know?
Maybe Kevin should take out a whole bunch of loans, go to medical school. Then every woman there will be a future doctor.
Or he could be like the guy. He could be like
he'll never
Leonardo
have to, by the time he'll die before he has to pay off.
He could go be like Leonardo DiCaprio and Catch Me If You Can. Just fake being a doctor and get all.
Yeah, that's true. You could do that. That's probably a lot cheaper.
Dr. Kevin.
Thomas, what's next?
Dr. Orleans.
Dr. Orleans.
That sounds like a Skinamax movie from 1987.
Yeah,
it really does. It really
Dr.
does.
Orleans.
Dr. Orleans. House call.
All right.
Yeah, it's like wait, what was the movie with what were we just referencing? Oh, Catch Me If You Can. Yeah. He just every time he changes jobs, he's plumber Orleans. He's
Dr. Orleans.
Borky's in the chat. Don't do it. Don't go to med school.
Orleans Esquire.
Colonel Orleans. Yeah, I love it. Thomas, what's next?
All right, final question of the show from Ambush. Who is more desperate for a center? The Saints or the Pels?
Good question. Wow.
That is
Question of the
I don't know.
year.
I feel like in the
early
NBA,
nominee.
you can get away with no center. I mean, how many championships did the Warriors win without one? So
that's right.
I feel like you can do small ball. You can find a way to win. I think the Saints showed very clearly that operating without a center does not work very well for them.
Yeah.
I think they should give Sincere
I would say
Haynesworth
the
a
Saints
call.
are more desperate, at least.
That question just made that
Yes,
question just made me sad.
That's right. We never
that we don't have Jonas anymore on the Pelicans. Maybe
we don't. We never mentioned, this McCoy injury that could distant possibility could be Sincere Haynesworth music for
wow.
He was
for
injured.
Thomas's undrafted
From me and
free
Hatchet
He
John.
was injured and waived. They'd have to re-sign him.
Yeah, no.
Hey,
It's
we're desperate.
That's Pepe Le Pew's music, the Shane Lemieux guy. That's his music, not your UDFA son. Although I saw your punter son, he did pretty good apparently in the game.
Yeah, his first punt was wacky. It looked like it came off wrong, but the rest of them looked okay. He had a few good ones. I think he's here to stay for the year.
Well, all right, so
and also Kevin's guy, nothing.
Yeah.
So
well,
right now I'm in the driver's seat here.
We'll see. I mean, if offensive line issues, they might,
Vroom, vroom.
might get a shot this week. We'll see. Thomas, it is game prediction time. Give us the standings.
All right, let's give. I'm gonna give you a quick donation update before that. Nick Cook is in the lead with $57. Who did go for second place? $20. Third place, San Antonio Saint, $12. So imagine we had such a problem with reaching the donation goal. What if we reached the second one? That would be a plot twist.
It would be amazing.
All right.
Be amazing.
Let's look at the results.
I will do it.
How many dollars do we need to get to the next one?
Less than 70.
All right.
All right, let's look at the standings. So each one of you predicted the Saints to win, so obviously you get no points for that. Alvin Kamara scored 15.7 fantasy points, plus 2 points for Andrew for that. Derek Carr only 8 points, but that's enough for 1 point for Dave. Jamal Williams less than 1 point, and Rashido 0 points. So Kevin gets -2 yet again. Nice. Unfortunately, and let's have a look at the current standings.
Oh,
Andrew,
yeah.
7 points in the driver's seat.
Oh my gosh.
Both Dave and Ralph 1 point, and Kevin, the winner from last year, with -3 points. You need to step it up, Kevin.
Pants.
Ali Mourinho says, "Catch the ball, Shahid."
You
exactly right.
Pants, Dave.
All right, who's going to go first?
We do this so early in the week because
we got the injury. We got the injury report apocalypse, and we haven't even seen it yet.
I know it's tough. All right,
who's going first, Thomas?
Maybe Dave, so he doesn't complain.
All right,
there we go. I like it. You know what though? Let me look up and see what I told you because I have no idea. The way I was feeling this morning, though, I think, like I said at the top of the show, I think the Saints are regressing now to the mean. I think we are now going to see the team most of us on this podcast were expecting to see all year. That's a 6-7 win team at the most. They've already got 2, which means they got a lot of losses coming up ahead of them. No McCoy for a while. Don't know what's going on with Taysom, and we've got some type of D-Day-esque injury report coming out tomorrow.
D-Day was a great day, though. That the Allies won, Dave.
I guess. Yeah, but it was Pyrrhic. It was a Pyrrhic victory. We lost a lot. So I just and we're not home. We're at the butthole. We're in the butthole.
They fixed the butthole. The butthole was open last night.
I saw that.
Sunday night.
Butthole was open.
Yeah, they fixed the butthole.
Okay. So I'm gonna. I don't think I can pick the Saints here. I'm gonna go with the Falcons. I don't see too many points. I'm going Falcons 26. Sorry, Falcons 24, Saints 16.
Still close.
Ish. We'll see when they get some of those points. Pains me to do this.
Your boy Allen said the Saints worked out a bunch of guys that we've never heard of. They all play offensive line, and they're all probably terrible.
Yeah. And so we gotta make up some ground here with Andrew. I gotta go big. I'm gonna get some points. So I'm a little worried because Andrew said that Alvin Kamara, he thinks he's going to be on the injury report. But I'm gonna go Kamara.
Oh shit! Damn. All right.
Here, I have a question, Your Honor, Thomas. Score. If we pick a player and they're inactive for the game on Sunday, does it still count for? We don't get.
That's fine.
Well, I know we're screwed for that game.
-2.
But does it count for the? Does it count like if I pick Taysom and he's inactive? It counts as my Taysom pick?
Yeah, we've been through this.
Yeah, and then you're fucked.
Your Honor's decision was you should just steer clear of anybody who you think might be on the injury report.
That's the whole team, Dave.
That's
you have enough players to choose from. Come on, man.
That's part of the strategy according to the commish here.
Especially this season when you can pick defensive players also.
All right. Who's next, Thomas?
Oh, I forgot about defense.
Maybe Kevin can be next this time, so he can maybe catch you guys. So who do you think Kevin predicted? Kevin in the chat, which player do you want to pick, Kevin?
I'll call Kevin.
I think he picked the Falcons.
Yeah.
I'm going to get another beer.
You think so? Kevin never picks the Falcons. Come on, man. Come on.
I think Kevin picked the Saints.
Kevin picked the Saints to win 17-14, and he also sent me his. Yeah.
That feels realistic if the Saints win the game. It really does.
Yeah, especially after last week.
Kevin.
Yeah.
All right. We've got your pick, 17-14 Saints. Dave has already picked Alvin Kamara as his player of the game. So give us a 10-second love update and then give us your player of the game.
Let's see. 10-second love update.
No love.
Shoot, I'm sorry. I'm just focused on work. 10-second love update. Things are going okay. I've seen this one nurse 2 weekends in a row.
Hey now.
Oh shit.
And like we talk, we send voice notes back and forth on text and text back and forth. So, things are going okay. We're
a nurse.
I'm being cautious.
Good. There you go. You're learning.
I'm being extremely cautious because the last time I felt overly enthusiastic, I got kicked in the nuts.
Is this because of the conversation we had at dinner the other night, and we talked about this?
And the player, I thought I sent that to Tomas. The player I picked was Taysom Hill.
He did, but I just want to make sure. Ask him. Just want to make sure because he already picked him once.
Kevin, Dave wants to know if our chats at dinner and on the podcast, if they've had an influence in you, kind of tempering your expectations.
Tempering my expectations? No. I'm out here just trying to,
Good for you, Kevin. Don't give in. Don't relent. Never change.
I can't even think right now. Sorry.
That's all right. All right, Taysom Hill, got it. Thanks, buddy.
Taysom may not even play.
Andrew,
I wanted you to ask him, Andrew. Come on, man. I mean, he's fucked now, probably, but
I mean, how do you know that Taysom Hill's less likely to play than Alvin Kamara?
Well, this is why he's got negative points, and he's the only one in the negative.
This is his joker.
Maybe watch the games in the injury report. I don't know.
All right, so now I'm gonna pick. This game, I went back and forth, and full disclosure, I sent Thomas one score, and then I changed my mind.
Minus points, negative points.
The thing is with this game, Andrew, there's something about Atlanta. They're not well coached. Like, they're sloppy. They do dumb stuff. Raheem Morris is not the brightest bulb, apparently. He makes dumb fourth down decisions like Nick Sirianni. So that is a positive. And Kirk Cousins is a statue. So, like, if the Saints were ever going to just destroy a quarterback, Kirk Cousins would be the nominee. But I just can't get past the injury apocalypse about to hit us. So I picked Atlanta 26-17 in one of those, in the worst kind of
close.
Saints game where they're
Wait,
never
what?
quite
What?
out of it.
26-17?
What was the score? What did I
Oh,
pick?
I
You
messed
made
up the
two
graphic.
predictions.
I messed up the graphic. I'm gonna fix it. Don't worry. Never mind.
Keep stretching it out, Ralph. Stretch it out.
I think it's going to be one of those games, Dave, where the Saints, they're never out of it, so you can't like turn the TV and be like, this game is done. I'm going to go about the rest of my Sunday. But they're never going to be in it, so you're going to be really frustrated. It's going to be like one of those games where it's always 10
Sorry,
points.
Ralph. You told me to change it to 21-13. Your initial one was 26-17 Saints. Come on, man.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Read the Discord.
John
not
Jerry
changing
Waffler.
shit. I'm not changing shit.
I like Pissed Off Thomas. I like Pissed Off Thomas more than Angry Dave from back in the day. I'm gonna have to start calling audibles on my scores more. So 21-13.
Okay.
It's gonna be an annoying day. The Saints are gonna be 2-2. Since Kevin picked Taysom, I can't pick Taysom.
You cannot.
I cannot.
You should probably.
Here's the thing. I'm gonna hedge, and I'm gonna say if the Saints are gonna win, it's got to start on the defense. So I'm going to pick Chase Young as my Saints player. I'm going to pick Chase Young as my Saints player of the game. I think the Saints defense is going to, if the Saints are going to win, the Saints defense is going to have to be incredible Sunday. So that's my pick. Andrew, who do you got?
Well, you guys are just so quick to jump the wagon. You're so quick to give up on the Saints. This is Falcons hate week. I don't care about the injury report.
Here we go. This is how we make up our ground on Andrew.
I don't care that the game's in Atlanta.
With his heart, not his head.
The Atlanta Falcons that we're talking about. They pipe in fake fan noise to compensate for the fact that their fans are terrible. They have Chick-fil-A in the stadium, which is closed on Sundays. Nothing. They botch everything. They're up 28-3 in a Super Bowl. They blow that too. 24-20 Saints. And you know how they say, when you're up, you go for the jugular. I'm going to burn my Derek Carr now. He's going to turn it around. He's going to have a good game. I'm going to smoke these fools. Not only are the Saints going to win, Derek Carr is going to have the most fantasy points. I'm going to increase my lead. I think I'm going for the jugular. I'm hitting the accelerator while I'm ahead.
Lock it in, Thomas.
Lock it in, Thomas.
Lock it in, he said.
I love it. Andrew, people in the chat said you totally redeemed yourself. Listen.
I mean, this is either. I would love to think that this is going to totally backfire, like I said, because he's making his pick with his heart and not his head. But of course, this is going to end up. He's going to nail the fucking score. Derek Carr is going to have a career game. It's going to be 12-1 to -5.
Here's a question for both of you before we wrap this up, and thanks everybody for listening. Listen, the Saints, it's a huge game for them, obviously, because you don't want to lose 2 in a row. They're going to Kansas City next week on Monday night against Patrick Mahomes, and they're beat up, and they're going to play another football game. They could even get even more beat up and then have to go to Kansas City. So it could be, we could be in a really dark place Sunday in the postgame show. But Dave, if the Saints can find a way to win this football game, they'll be 3-1. The Falcons will be 1-3, which means they'll be basically 3 games behind the Saints because 2 games in the standing plus the tiebreaker. That means the Saints would be 3 games ahead of Atlanta after a month, and the Falcons would be 0-3 at home as the division favorite before the year.
It's happening.
This feels like it's a must win for the Falcons, but it also feels like the Saints can deliver the death blow to the Falcons. I know it's only September, but it feels like they can deliver the knockout shot to them.
Absolutely not. You're an idiot. It's the week 4. I hate you.
I'm just saying.
You're so stupid. You're so dumb. Yeah, drink more. That's what you need. That's going to make you smarter.
Andrew, you disagree with me? You think Dave is correct?
He's the one that just picked the Falcons to lose. He just picked the Saints to win.
No, I mean, I don't think it nukes their season necessarily, but it would put the Saints at 3-1. It would put Atlanta essentially 3 games back at 1-3 with a tiebreaker down, and then I think all sorts of questions start to surround the amount of money they spent Kirk Cousins. It also depends on how they lose, right? If Cousins sucks and the Saints defense eats him alive, let's say Bijan Robinson doesn't play very well.
Panics time.
Yeah, then it's like, oh, they're 1-3. They busted on the Pitts pick, and they busted on Drake London, and they busted on Bijan. Like, yeah, they're good, but they're not top 10 good. And, they spent all this money on I think at 1-3, the noise with why did they pass on Belichick and hire Raheem Morris? I think a lot of this stuff will bubble to the surface pretty early. I'm not saying it's going to necessarily sink the Falcons season, but the negative press they will get will be pretty noisy.
I need it.
I would inject that in my veins.
I need to be spending all day Monday on the Falcoholic, just drinking their tears is what I need to be.
This is not a therapy session.
Yeah, I got to say one thing I always do which is kind of like my I don't know, my Falcon, part of my Falcons hate watching experience. Whenever they're doing really bad, I will go on the Falcoholic Twitter account and read the responses to whatever the Falcoholic tweets. I'll read Falcons fans' responses, and I would encourage all Saints fans to do it. It's amazing. It's a lot of fun. It's
if the Saints jump up 14-0, you just go to Falcoholic.
Yeah. Just watch them all melt down and hate life. It's fantastic.
All right.
Do they still do live game threads on SB Nation? Do they do those still?
I think they do. Thanks to everybody who donated during the show. Thomas, recap it all for us.
All right. So we reached the donation goal. We are on a 59-week donation streak. Thanks to Jason Champagne, to Errol, to San Antonio Saints, to Aldi Marino, to Who Dat Golfer, and to the MVP for the first time this season with 57 Buckaroos, who is the one and only Nick Cook. Congratulations!
Thank you, Nick.
You found us on YouTube.
Thank you, Nick. You found us.
Is Nick Cook cooked? That's my question.
Yes. It's amazing. It's amazing. We appreciate all you guys.
So he's
Thanks
back.
for He's back. He's back. Back again. Thanks for watching, guys.
Ambush says I have to eat 3 fruits and veggies if we win. I actually like fruits and veggies. Some fruits and veggies.
I don't. I got to think.
Asparagus.
We got. You know what we need to do?
You need to eat cat food.
Next week, we'll ask people. They can suggest the Saints Happy Hour Hard Hide guarantee of what will happen in the game. That I will do 3 shots of Hard Hide strawberry whiskey. We'll have people make suggestions next week. We'll add that into the rundown next week, Thomas. We'll do that. But guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the show and we made you laugh, consider supporting the show by going to patreon.com/Saints Happy Hour. Give us a shot. Every little bit helps make the show better. And don't forget to follow us on our socials and wherever you get your podcast. Thanks to Dave. Thanks to Andrew. Thanks to Kevin for popping in, making his pick. And Thomas, the best producer on earth, running the show back in Poland. Until next time, the bar is closed.